All right, exciting day here. I got a bunch more parts in. I think I now have everything except I think I'll need an oil pan gasket and a rear main seal and a freeze plug. But so I got the cam. This is a pretty much new timing chain set, so I'm not gonna change that. Main bearings here. These are all rocker assemblies. So pretty sure I didn't need these, but the wearable part on these are these guys, because this surface right here rides inside of this like that. So every time this thing rocks around, it goes like that, slops around. So eventually, a lot of times this is your rocker tick. Mine didn't have one, but since I'm rebuilding it, I decided to go ahead and replace them. So that's what all these boxes are. It's just each set. I got new lifters, hydraulic lifters, new push rods, full set. These are rod bearings. These are the cam bearings. What are these? Oh, this is all the piston rings and oil rings. So we'll be putting all those on. New head bolts, new pistons. These things are pretty sweet. It's a shame you can't see them when they're actually installed, but they look kind of cool. So it's got a cool little sealed power design on there. These are just standard. I was gonna measure real quick and just make sure that they're the same, but they should be. So there's that. Got a bunch of gaskets back there. I cleaned up my crank. I just pressure washed it, and then I'm gonna clean it really good with some degreaser, and then put some WD-40 on there, keep it from flash rusting. Same thing with this. I just pressure washed it, got most of the junk off, and then I'll just go back through and scrub everything down, clean up all the surfaces. I'm gonna pop off all the valves probably today, and get that going. The hardest part is gonna be getting these pins out, because these are pressed fit. I was looking around for the wrist pin, floating type wrist pins, but could not find those. The ones I did find were like 4 times the price. So I decided that I would just struggle a little bit and get that figured out. But yeah, these pistons, these rings were pretty much shot, because they when I took the nuts off of these, the pistons actually tried to fall out of the cylinders, so they're all pretty sloppy. But like I said, this is definitely the hardest part of the whole job. So I got the block pretty much cleaned up, all pressure washed. I'll go around and actually scrub it with some brushes and stuff, but nothing crazy is going on that I can see. No damage. I did have, see if I can turn it over real quick. Ooh, sheesh. Hold on, I'm gonna cut right here. Actually, okay, sit you down right here for a second. You're gonna stay just like that. So one of these passageways, this one right here, is completely clogged up. But it doesn't look like gunk, it looks like actual casting material. So what I'm thinking is that's been like that since this engine was made, which is pretty crazy. So I'm trying to get the pin in this thing so I can not have to worry about it falling over. There we go. Pins in. Okay, so this stuff right here. Yeah, that's casting material, so I'm kind of wondering if I should clean that up or if it's supposed to be like that. So let me see. Because it does have a tiny little hole, but oh yeah, that's just casting material. So this has been clogged since it was made back in 1996. So that's kind of interesting, I thought. So yeah, it was missing one of these passageways. None of the rest are like that, just that one. And that's, like I said, that's just casting imperfection there. So I will clean that up with a Dremel tool. You can see there's a tiny hole in there, but not a lot. So that'll help. And then I've done, this is the third one of these that I've rebuilt, and I'm still not sure what the lettering system is that Jeep has there. So kind of interesting. And the only freeze plug that I'm gonna have to change in this guy is gonna be the cam freeze plug, just because the cam bearing is like right here and there's no way to push it out without taking that out. So that's always fun. I'll probably work on getting these cam bearings out today so I can clean up that line bore. And yeah, I'm just finishing up kind of the prep work here, and then eventually be ready for paint and reassembly here. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, so got the block all clean, got the bearings out, all the cam bearings are all out, everything went fine. So I got all the surfaces pretty clean. I'm gonna hit the cylinders with a hone one of these days. Same tools, it's the cam bearing removing tool. Those are all the old cam bearings. So, and right now we're just doing separating the old pistons from the con rods and getting the wrist pins out. So I was just gonna show a video on that. We also got the head disassembled with all the valve springs and everything all in their own bags. So we'll clean all those up and do a little valve lapping later. But I wanted to show this. So these pistons are press fit. They're not floating pistons, so you're gonna need a press to do it. And it's good practice to take note of the orientation for when you go to do the other ones. So on here you have your numbering system. You can see how the rod's got kind of not a bend, but just this side's straight and that side's kind of convex, I guess it would be. So you just want to make sure you got your orientation right. So the way I'm going to do it is the numbers are here on this side and that bend or angle is on the right side. So that way when I put the piston on, I don't have any that are different. So I'll just do them all the same way and hopefully it's right. Should be right. But anyway, you're going to need a press, which is here. You're going to need... so the trick is you don't want to press this and bend the rod, because you got to reuse this. Well, you don't have to, you can buy your own, but these are pretty hard to come by. So you need something that's the perfect height to keep everything flat. So we found this guy. Let's see if I can drop it 6 more times. Found that guy that sits pretty flat, and then the rod actually sits pretty flush if the rings weren't stuck. The rings were stuck on this guy. Yikes. I'm gonna pull these rings off. That was holy crap. I think I took this apart right in time. Yikes. That was wanting to come apart inside the cylinder. Wow, those are the most brittle rings I've ever seen. Okay. Anyway, you're just gonna line that up good. Use that. And got the socket. So I have a 5/8 socket. Was I using 5/8? Yeah, so I got a 5/8 socket that fits in there pretty good. You just want it to fit just like that so that it'll actually go through the wrist pin slot there. And you just want to make sure that everything's flat so that your rod doesn't take as much stress. Good. That's happened about 17 times already. You want it to be pretty straight, and so I'll show you what I'm talking about by straight here. So you want to make sure that this is flat here, and that is as flat as you can get it, because you don't want to press here and bend it, because chances are pretty good that it'll come back, but that's a lot of stress, and it's going to be inside your engine. So it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. And then you can see that with this plate, I wish I had something that was this thick, that was just straight across, but I don't. So we're going to press this out, and you'll hear it pop. You'll hear it get that initial torque out. And then after it's got that initial torque out, I'll put this plate in here, just because we can make it so the pin will drop out. But anyway, let's start doing some cranks here. Try to get you a good angle here. All right.
Rod lights.
Is it? So that can be good.
Yeah, looks good. Good about there.
And so it's going to be kind of hard first, just to get that initial torque out, or initial tightness. I guess it would help if this was tight.
Would you like ham sandwiches or burgers 101?
Burgers 101. We're recording.
Oh, this is not an advertisement. Okay, I'll call them and I'll pick it up.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll do
Send
that
it to
with
some
the
advice
police
there.
come out.
Oh, nice.
I
Okay,
wouldn't trust you to watch the movie.
that's good. All right, so it's about to have the initial break of the torque here. So you just want to kind of keep your important body turned away. So that's fine. That thing just fell off. But that pop was the wrist pin actually breaking free inside the rod there. So,
Well,
and we'll go down until we're stuck on that, and then we'll swap out the plate. Careful, those rings are sharp.
yeah.
Cool. And once you get that initial torque broken, or I gotta keep calling it torque, but once you get it actually broke free in there, it comes out pretty easily. But that first pop is really tight.
It's moving good.
I'll do another video of how you install these. That's actually a little bit more tricky than this. And there we go. Wrist pin's out, no damage done, so we're good. And this was the last one. So now we got them all out. Now I can clean everything, and we can prepare for reassembly because everything's all set now. I'll probably give this head a nice deep cleaning here. Oh, I'm bleeding. Rings are sharp, be careful. But this oil seal had a ton of oil, or this oil seal had a ton of oil on it when we took it off, which I believe was the issue with getting all the oil all over the spark plug. But other than that, there's no real signs of what was going on other than those rings being so brittle. That was crazy. These are all springy, and those other ones they were stuck in the spot that they were at, and it broke like right when I put any torque on it. So it was failing, and I caught it right before. So good thing we're doing it. Cool. Well, that'll pretty much end today. So thanks for watching. All right, so I kind of cleaned them as best I could in a little container with some degreaser, but I'm gonna try throwing them in this dishwasher. I've never done it before.
What are you doing?
We're
with the dishwasher?
gonna wash some engine parts.
Oh no!
Yeah. We'll use
Again!
we'll use 2 things. Where's that? We'll see how they turn out. I'm curious.